You might be asking yourself, hey Ned, what'd you do? Go in the carnival business? Open up Ned's Carnival Rides? Wouldn't be a bad idea. And I think if I was gonna open a carnival, this would be the ride I'd get, because even though it's not supposed to be probably the scariest ride you ever been on, it is indeed gonna be the scariest ride you've ever been on because of the shape it's in. But no, I have not opened up Ned's Carnival Rides and grabbed a sea dragon. What actually happened is this thing kind of got dropped in my lap. One of the drivers who uses my lot, he went and got a power only load locally, and he was taking it to Texas, and he got going down the road and man, the wheel started smoking. And he thought, man, I better go ahead and pull this thing over, and he did, and the brakes are all shot. It's got a lot of problems. And so he brought it to this yard because he didn't even want to turn around and go back. So the thing is, there's a timeline on this trailer. It has to get to Texas because it needs to catch a boat to Panama to make all the little kids have the time of their life in Panama. Why not go ahead and try to take care of this thing for the guy, for the kids of Panama? We're going to get this thing going down the road, but it's a very complicated thing for what I have to do. Let me show you this brake job that's going to have to be done. One of the complicated things I found was trying to get this thing off of a truck. There's no dolly on this thing. It's hydraulic, but of course, you know, the hydraulics don't work. So we had to spin that thing out, and that cylinder over there is actually broken. So, but you can use this lock ring to tighten it up enough so that it doesn't go down any further, and you can use your airbags to let it down. But these little gorgeous girls right here, I know some of you old timers that watch this channel, you're probably already going, oh boy. Yeah, these tires like this, a lot of shops won't even touch them. And yes, they are the tubed ones. You can see where they put new tubes inside of here. So here's the issue with the brakes. See up there, right there, the roller is actually missing because these brakes are not closing in. They're staying open. Even if I take this slack adjuster and back it all the way off, those brakes stay open. And so what happens is the vibration of the road, it just knocked the rollers clean off. Now this side, the pads got real thin because they stayed locked open. And that roller is still on there, but it's not in the right pocket, of course. Here's the other side of the brake pad, and you can see they're P-style. So those pins go all the way through the brake pad. And what I think happened is these got so rusted up or corroded in there that the pad won't go back and forth. I can pry this pad with a piece of bar or something, and I can close the pad, but then when it opens back up, it won't go back in. This stuff's been on here a long time. Look at these S-cams. They have green, blue, light blue. There's 3 or 4 coats of painting on there. Let me tell you why this job really stinks. You know, on most stuff, if you want to change the brake drums, you just take the wheels off, you take the drums off, change the gear, change the pads, put it back together, and you're done. Easy beasy. Not this. These wheels are actually completely hollow. They're like a donut. And they mount to the hub through these brackets on here. And this is actually the dangerous kind, the kind that most shops don't want to touch. We don't have to really worry about that. The thing is, though, the drum is mounted to the hub. So to actually get to the brakes, you have to take the whole hub off. And that means you have to drain the oil, you have to change out the gaskets, you have to change out the seals. I did talk to one of my old timer friends who's still driving in his 70s, and he made it seem like it was the easiest job you could ever do. But he makes every job sound like that. So the thing is, I can take the wheels and keep them all together on the hub and pull all the wheels and the hub off at the same time, and then change the brakes. Okay, I hope that all goes smooth. My concern is that if I take all this stuff apart, I'll start finding other things that have to be fixed before it can go back together. I hope there's nothing wrong with these hubs, because if there was something wrong with the hubs, God forbid, it is going to be so crazy trying to take these tires off, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be responsible for that. I don't know how to do that. I don't want to get involved in it. We're going to have quite a little adventure. Of course, I need to get the oil out of here, and it's got a plug on the side, but I'm not even going to bother trying to pull that thing out. Man, they painted these a bunch of times, didn't they? funny about this is they said they had a mechanic look over everything and it was perfectly ready to go 500 miles. Right? Little lock ring on here. You just bend the tabs back. All right, now we'll pull this outer nut off. Well, that's good. It's not on there very tight. Why would you want to put that one on tight? And this nut should be easy to take off. Give it a nice wiggle. I had to raise all the tires and put them on block because of this bar right here. If I raise the tire with it all the way on the ground so I can get it high enough to pull it off, it hits the bar. Same on this side. So it makes it a lot more work because you gotta get wood under all the tires. Nothing easy about this one. Now we're gonna jack it up. We're using these wheel dollies. Got from Harbor Freight for 50 bucks. Oh, this part sucks because I gotta kick the tire off because it's attached to the drum, and of course the brakes are basically locked up. Ugh. Come on, baby. Get your workout in. Woo! So here's the wonderful thing I'm dealing with. This is a P pad. These are called P pads, and I guess because they kind of look like the letter P. That's why they're named that, I guess. But what happens is this anchor pin goes all the way through the P pad into the axle, and then on the other side it locks into the other side of the P pad, and so there's a lock ring that goes on either side that keeps it in place. Now the problem is this thing is sat for so long that it's corroded all the way around the P pad, and of course it's corroded in the bushing so it doesn't move, but now it doesn't allow the P pad to move. You can see over here that this, you see this huge space? It's not about to move. This of course needs to close in and go back and forth to be able to work properly. The pad is going to be good enough to get down the road, to go the 500 miles it needs to go to get to port. But these I'll have to grind all the way down. I've already done this a couple times, so I know the right way of doing it. Now the reason is I have to grind it all the way down is that there's a lot of corrosion that occurs on the ends, but then because of this channel where the lock ring goes, if I pound on it, even if I'm pounding in right in here, as the force is getting inside of this P pad, it will actually bend it outward or change it some way, and it'll get wedged, it'll get stuck in there, and you can pound until kingdom come and you won't get it out. So we don't want to damage that. We're going to grind it down. That's the easiest way to do it. Drill it out a little bit, be able to put a nice pounding device in there and get it to the other side. Grinded these down and I've got this bolt out of there. So now I'm going to drill some holes in there so I have a good place to put a punch so I can really drive these things out of here. I think we're ready to go ahead and start pounding. Sometimes this end starts bending out, so you got to kind of tap it back in. Aha! Right. See what I mean? Got all the brake pads ready. Yeah. Old piece of junk brake pad, but got some anti-seize in the holes. Got the new roller on. Got the new gear for the spring. And I'm gonna anti-seize these holes up real good. Nice little love taps. Nothing hard. Beep. Good. Good girl. This one. Bing. Before we go too far in, we'll put our lock rings on this side. Give them a nice shine. Oh yeah, you look so pretty. Look at you. Now here comes the spring. You might think, man, that is going to be a problem to put on. How are you going to pull that thing up and get that spring on there? That can hold people up, that's for sure. There's an easy trick. Get a piece of chain. You just roll this up underneath that spring bracket and put the end on the spring. Pull it up nice and snug. Grab you a screwdriver or some kind of wedge bar, and then pow! Just like that. Pretty simple. We got the new seal in. Took the old one out, cleaned it up, put the new seal in. This is a PAI, a lot cheaper. I don't like them. I didn't want to buy these. I had purchased the Stemco seals. I had ordered them. They sent the wrong seals though to the dealer. I don't know what happened. These will work okay, especially since it's not going very far, but they're just a lot more of a pain in the butt to put in. Got the spindle lubed up. Now we're gonna try to put this hub back on. Okay, now we're getting there. That's really all we need right there. Now it's on. Now grab this lube, put it around the race. There we go. So this one set on 50. I'm gonna do a quarter turn back off right to there. Now we got this lock ring right here. Bend them down. Doing this brake job on one Sea Dragon was fun, but doing it on two Sea Dragons is a blast. As a kid, I always wanted to go in one of these things and run it. Here's the control box. I guess you don't have to be a genius to run this, do you? Just turn it on, start, swing, and then you stop it. Huh. I thought they did more than that in these things. How much would it cost to replace all these bulbs? Wow. Lord have mercy. This one's probably take that out just so it doesn't fall off while it's going down the road. All right, well, we finished up on this one. Let's take a look at what we got done. All of these lights had to be repaired. The connections were really bad, and they had wires going everywhere. Terminals that were broken. So we fixed all the lights on the back. You can see that's got kind of a mix match. You know, obviously you wouldn't want to do this if you were going to keep this trailer, because the blinker, this light is going to blink differently than this light because it's an old style light and then an LED. So you don't want to mix these, and these two do blink. So on this side it'll be fine because they're both LEDs, which it wouldn't cost much to do that, but this is just going one little trip. Other thing, you know, a lot of half lights were working. One of the things it's easy to fix is, you can see this was the type of connector they had. So we just put a different screw in there that gives it a better ground, and so now the light works perfect. Also, you know, fixing the connections. So we got the new kits on everything. You can see the new springs. These are actually the new liners, so those are the ones I took in and got relined. So it's got 4 new brake chambers. These brake chambers are pretty cheap. I mean, 55, 60 bucks a brake chamber. They're really easy to put in, so I went ahead and changed them out because this thing has to go 500 miles, 600 miles. It's not worth the risk because of the cost to fix it if it does break, and probably would have because they were just so bad. Here's the brake control valve we changed. These only cost about $135. What was happening is it has been so rusted up that it was sending air to the supply, so it was disengaging the parking brake, but then it was also sending air to the service line as well, so the brakes were then always engaged. So you change this out and everything works great now. As a kid, I used to ride these kind of rides all the time, so I think about all the money that I spent. But now, after fixing a couple of these, I think I'm finally gonna get close to breaking even on my trade with the Carnival. All right, well, that's a wrap for this one. It's been an interesting project, been fun. I've worked on 2 different Sea Dragons now. Learned a lot of different things about these older things. Not sure how useful they'll be, but it was fun, it was entertaining. I hope it was fun and entertaining, or maybe you learned something as well if you got something similar. But anyways, I appreciate you stopping by. I'll see you on the next one.
I got off easy, darling. Got no more time for loving you. Yeah, I got off easy, baby. Got no more time for loving you. Ooh. No more